reliever is trotting in from the bullpen. Not quite sure who it is. The Yankee manager, Billy Martin, is at the mound, and he's handed over the ball. I'm being told the pitcher is Peters, Vernon Peters. He was just called up from AAA this morning. Apparently, this will be his first pitch in the major leagues. So, big moment for this young man. He was signed by the Yankees in 1972. He grew up in New Haven, just an hour outside New York. Not sure if his family was able to get down to the stadium in time or not. Peters is finishing his warm-up tosses. He's a southpaw. Carly Yastrzemski will be up for Boston. The Red Sox lead 5-4. One out, top of the seventh, runner on third. We're ready to go. Peters shakes off the catcher. Doesn't seem to like the sign. Shakes him off again. Now he's ready. He winds up the pitch. There's a line drive up the middle that's going to score a run. Yastrzemski takes a wide turn at first, and he'll stop there with a single. Billy Martin's coming out of the dugout. With a right-handed hitter coming up, looks like that's all for Peters. Vernon Peters is gone after just one pitch. The Yankees will be busy in August. They've got a lot of rainouts to make up, so looking ahead.
Hello, this is Roger Pennell. I'm not here to take your call, but leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Hi, Mr. Pennell. My name is Mike Resnick. I'm a reporter down at your old newspaper. I saw the obituary you wrote for us about the baseball pitcher. Well, I was hoping that I could...
Hello?
Mr. Pennell?
You got him.
Oh, hi. My name is Mike Resnick. I'm a sports reporter at the New Haven Record. I saw the obituary you wrote for us last month about Vernon Peters, and I really admired it. Must have been a terrific writer in your day.
In my day?
I mean, you still are. Really terrific. But I read your obituary.
Not mine, kid.
Sorry. The one you wrote about Vernon Peters?
Yeah?
He had such a unique career, throwing just one pitch in the majors, nearly 50 years ago? I thought maybe there's a bigger story in this. Are you home right now?
Why do you want to know?
Well, I hope we can talk in person. I'm actually outside your house. I knocked a couple of times, but you didn't answer.
Just a second. Hey! Over here!
You going out?
I'm not dressing up to wash the dishes. A funeral.
For Peters? I thought his funeral was last month.
New month, new funeral. This one's for Jim Clementi, one of the retired pressmen for your newspaper.
I didn't know him. Must have been before my time.
This is what you do at my age. You go to the funerals of your buddies. So who's left in sports these days? What happened to Al Weiss?
He retired too. Moved down to Florida. We're down to just 4 full-timers.
So, what's your story? How'd you land at the Record?
Well, I grew up in Boston. I went to Harvard, and after graduation...
Harvard?
Yeah, well, my degree was in sociology. It was pretty useless. But after I graduated, I got a couple crappy jobs, and then I got on as a stringer for the Boston Globe covering sports in the suburbs.
And from there, a step up to the illustrious New Haven Record.
Yeah, well, after I got laid off from the Globe, the Record was the only place I could find a reporting job.
Now, I gotta catch your bus, so whatever you want to talk about, make it quick.
Well, if the funeral's here in New Haven, I can give you a ride. I wanted to talk to you about a possible writing project, a collaboration. I read your obituary. It was eloquent. Vernon Peters, a New Haven native, had a Major League Baseball career that stretched not seasons, but seconds. Oh, and this. If Peters had a fatal flaw, it was a curveball that had less bend to it than an interstate through Iowa.
Thanks.
Did you know Peters?
We grew up together. We went through school together in New Haven. It's New Haven Congregation.
But I read your obituary, and I kept thinking, wow, What a great story. He throws one pitch for the Yankees, and then it's all over for him. He's sent back to the minors, gets injured, and a month later, his career and really his life is over. Drinking, poverty.
It was a train wreck.
Homelessness, a failed marriage, a son who died of a heroin overdose. It's such a great story of unfulfilled dreams, of shattered dreams.
Of dreams that became nightmares.
But I read your obituary, and I kept
Not mine, kid.
Right. Sorry, the one for Peters. I kept thinking there's got to be a publisher who would be interested.
Someone's going to publish a book about Vern.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I contacted a bunch of agents, but they weren't really interested. And then someone at the paper told me you wrote a few sports paperbacks years ago.
Those kind of books just make your beer money, that's all. It's right up here on the right.
I found a copy of the last book you did. A Babe in the Bronx. It's great writing. I contacted the publisher. I proposed the idea to them, and they liked it. They see it as a different kind of sports biography, an athlete on the margin of sports, and the tragedy his life became. Problem is, I've never written a book before, and they want me to use an experienced editor. Legend Press is so small, though, that they use freelance editors.
Uh-huh.
So I suggested you to the publisher.
Me?
Yeah, he remembered your book. He said okay.
Sorry, kid. No thanks.
Why not?
No.
Well, this doesn't make sense. Vernon Peters was your friend. You wrote his obituary.
I don't care if it makes sense or not. Look, Vern's life wasn't that interesting. There's no book here.
But you wouldn't have to do much. I do all the research, all the writing. I've already contacted the family, and I've left...
Who in the family?
I could only find a sister, Bernice. I left a phone message for her, but I haven't heard back yet. Oh, I already wrote this introduction just to get...
I'm not interested.
Well, why not?
I'm just not. I'll get a ride back with someone else. Bernice? Hi, it's Roger Pennell. Look, did some kid call you? A writer interested in... Yeah, that's him. No, the book would only be about your brother's baseball career. He stopped by to see me this morning, and... Bernice, hold on. Damn it, hold on. I'm not going to tell him anything about it. And who's still alive who knows what happened, and who would possibly tell him? So how's he going to find out? If he calls again, don't talk to him. Yeah. You take care.
Hey, Mikey, how's it going?
Hey, Carla. You're on schedule to cover girls' tennis this afternoon.
Oh. So, what are you up to?
Spring sports awards at a couple high schools tonight.
Cool. So, we getting that drink later?
Maybe.
Maybe? Come on, Mike.
Hey, Mike. I need you to work Saturday this week. The Class C high school baseball championship is in New London.
I can't. I go home to Boston to see my wife on weekends.
We're short-handed. You can take off Monday. Oh, no, not Monday. We have the golf regionals. You can take off Wednesday. Be a good soldier, Mike. You never know when more layoffs are coming. Don't be the next.
child's life.
I'm beginning to think that only two people are actually getting any decent hands at this table. Isn't the church the discussion about sheep?
I think it's fixed, too.
Just don't know what's in the cards.
Hey, Raj, can I say one more thing about the writing project?
I'm busy. I fold.
You know how much he has?
Raj, this writing project, Legend Press is giving us an advance of $2,000, and I'm willing to give you half, as well as 25% of everything after that, the royalties, the film rights, whatever.
The film rights? Oh, God.
The thing is, the record is barely surviving. The whole newspaper industry is just hanging on. We're trying to find a way off the Titanic before it finally sinks.
Kid, I'm really not interested.
Why not?
I'm just not.
But you wouldn't have to do anything. Just act as an editor. I'd do the rest. To have a book on my resume, it'd be huge for me. I just think this project could be really great. Baseball is such a metaphor for people's dreams anyway, but a guy who throws one pitch from the major leagues and then his life spirals down into despair, it's a metaphor on top of a metaphor. What do you think about Sean Green at the Post?
What do you mean, what do I think of him? All in.
Would he be a decent editor for this?
He's a hack.
What about Bob Winkler at Newsday?
Okay, let's go.
Yes, that's what I want to see.
Look, Roger, I'm going to find an editor for this. This book is going to get done with or without you, but Vern was your friend, though. Don't you want to see it done right?
What's your name again?
Mike Resnick. All you have is this typewriter? Don't you have a computer?
No. I had one, but I hated it. I was always calling the Geek Squad.
Raj, you are old school. Is this a picture of you growing up? Looks like a little Roger. No picture of your own family? A wife?
I got one ex-wife, and I don't know why, but I never got around to putting out her photo. In my day, your newspaper was your wife, especially if you were a sports writer out on the road. What about you? You married?
Sort of.
You can be sort of married these days?
We're having some problems. My wife is still in Boston at the Globe, but I stay down in New Haven Monday through Friday, which means we have a weekend marriage. Well, these journalism awards, all I see is record stuff.
It was the only paper I ever worked for. I started covering sports for them right out of high school.
You skipped college?
Hey, Mr. Ivy League, you went to Harvard, and all you got out of it was my own job. That must piss your parents off. All that wasted money.
Legend Press only wants 200 pages. It would just take us 3 or 4 months at most. We could be done by Labor Day. We could meet here every Friday morning to go over things. So what do you think?
Well, you packed it with facts, that's for sure.
I thought it could at least be a start.
Well, the problem is, well, There are a lot of problems.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, you're a reporter. You aren't a writer.
What does that mean?
A reporter can cover a game and tell you what the score was and who got the big hit. But it's not writing. You don't get poetry out of a reporter. You get that out of a writer.
Well, this isn't poetry, it's sports.
To a real sports writer, they're one and the same, my friend. Another thing, the cliches. This phrase, wet behind the ears. I've read that phrase 1,000 times. Neurons die when you read something the 1,000th time. You got cliches all over the place. Here. The cream of the crop? And here. He was throwing heat? Good luck.
Look, people have told me I'm a pretty competent writer. It's just surprising to hear that. Honestly, I've got a terrible situation. I don't know how long the job at the Record will last. I'm desperate. I need something. Some foothold in the world. I need this book. Please.
If I agree to help you, there's going to be some ground rules. First, I don't want to see all sorts of shit in this about Vern's private life.
Well, it's a biography, so...
It's a sports book. I'm sick of writers who go through everyone's trash. Another thing, I don't want my name on the book.
You don't want your name on it?
Not on it, not in it, not anywhere.
I would think just out of pride...
You can't use my name, period. You're the writer, kid, not me. That's the agreement.
But Legend Press, I'm sure they want your name on it.
They couldn't care less if my name's on it. They just want it to be a good read.
But you'll do it. You'll edit it?
Fridays. You bring the coffee.
Thank you, Roger.
Hello, this is Roger Panetta. I'm not here to take your call, but leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Roger, I know you're there. Pick up.
Hey, Bernice. You got my message? Bernice, hold on. I only agreed to edit it because he's already got a publisher. He's going to do this book with or without me. If I'm the editor, at least I can keep an eye on him. I'll know who he's talking to. Yeah, go ahead and call him back. But just, be careful what you tell him. I will. Sure. Yeah, you take care. It's open!
Hey, Raj.
Hey, how you doing? I put out that table for your stuff.
Oh, great. What's this, Raj? You okay?
Yeah, my doctor ordered it for me, but I don't really need it. I got a little gout that flares up once in a while.
Well, how is it you don't need it?
Because I'm 74, not 94. I can still get from point A to point B on my own. What's so funny?
Well, when you're 33, there's not a lot of difference between 74 and 94.
Yeah, well, when you're my age, there's not a lot of difference between 33 and 13.
Gout. Isn't that one of those things like cholera that they cured a century ago? So what do you take for it?
Pills by the TV. Which reminds me, hand me the bottle. Thanks. And you gotta drink 6 glasses of water a day, which means 6 more trips to the bathroom than I was already making.
Prednisone. It says it's an oral steroid.
I guess.
Rod, you're on steroids? I thought your writing was a little too good to be true. So what are you watching?
A replay of the game yesterday.
Well, why's the sound off?
I hate announcers. They tell you what you're watching in case you don't know what it is you're watching. I happen to know what it is I'm watching.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, I know. I'm almost there. I'm just trying to find street parking. So. Yeah, I'll have it into you by 6. Don't even sweat it. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye. That's just my editor. I'm supposed to be covering a Southern Connecticut All 30s championship baseball game. I don't know. It's some major assignment. What, didn't you ever show up to the Yankees in the late innings and still finish the story?
No.
No? Never?
Never. But if I did, I wouldn't be bragging about it.
Let me show you something. I finally talked to Peter's sister, Bernice. You must have known her.
A little.
She got all his possessions when he died. Photos, scrapbooks, tax return, even his minor league baseball card.
Jeez, look at all this stuff. Hey, his glove.
She's lending it to us so I can make copies and take photos.
Our high school yearbook. That's me. That's Vern. Pinnell, Peters. We sat next to each other all through school.
Look at this. His first minor league contract. Well, $500 per month.
I even wrote this for him. Vern, see you in Cooperstown. That's ironic.
Look at this. During the 90s, he joined Alcoholics Anonymous, and they gave him this. Well, look at the flyleaf. He listed the dates he went to meetings and wrote little comments. Quote, from darkness and despair, any direction is up. It's terrific, huh?
He didn't even last a year in AA.
Bernice wasn't going to give it to me yet. I had to sneak it into the box when she wasn't looking.
You did what?
She won't know. Stuff filled 3 suitcases. She won't miss it.
If she didn't give it to you, we're not using it.
Well, why not?
You stole it.
But it's good stuff, Raj. Oh, you are old school, huh? That doesn't matter. This is the real motherlode. It's a dozen letters Peters wrote Bernice during his last season at Syracuse.
Did you steal these?
No. But they were in some old comic books. I don't think she knew they were there. I'm using these, Roger. I got them legitimately. Okay?
Did you read these?
Not all of them. I'll get to the rest eventually. I did notice after he joined the Yankees, he stopped writing any letters. The last one was 4 days before the call.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, the postmark dates were the first thing I checked. Hey, look at this. Picture of the Syracuse Chiefs. When did Peters know the Yankees were going to call him up?
They phoned him at 5 in the morning. Get your ass on a bus to Yankee Stadium.
Was Peters that good?
He was one of the best pitching prospects the Yankees had. Yeah, he got in streaks where he walked a lot of guys, but he had a major league fastball. The Yankees needed him for the bullpen that day. They had 2 relievers out sick.
There's something I want to ask you. You covered the game for the Record. I found the clip in the paper's archives. You wrote, Vernon Peters managed only one feeble curveball before he was lifted and handed a one-way ticket back to the minors. Feeble? Handed a one-way ticket back to the minors? Well, that's pretty harsh. The guy was your friend.
Players have thick skins.
Well, players grow thick skins. They don't start out with them. Feeble. That's cold. Okay, look at this. His birth certificate is at this end. Your obituary is at the other end. Everything else is laid out by date. It's profound. You can see his entire life playing out on this floor. Well, you wrote something in his obituary. Well, after baseball, he was never able to find the excitement or fulfillment he felt as a player. His marriage soured, his drinking problem grew chronic, and his work history became checkered. That's like most people's lives. Bad marriages, bad breakups. He's an everyman. That's our hook.
Our hook, huh?
This story is about dreams. Most people never get close to theirs. He did. He touched his dream and then lost it. And his lasting memory of it was that one fateful, tragic day at Yankee Stadium.
God, save us from the cliches. What time's your baseball game start?
Oh, shit. Like 10 minutes ago?
Oh, shit, I got the time wrong. I'll get it in by the deadline, Raj. They only want 6 paragraphs. I can do that in my sleep. What I'm thinking? We approach this like a novel. We need to find the key dramatic moments in Peter's life. Here's a chart I put together. I learned this at Harvard. It's called Freytag's Pyramid. It shows the arc of the plot, the rising action, the moment of key decisions. It's the dramatic structure of his story. All drama follows this chart, Roger. It always has, even Shakespeare.
This ain't Macbeth we're writing. Maybe at Harvard.
What is your problem?
My problem?
Yeah, the Harvard thing.
Kid, I don't have a problem.
Roger, this chart could help us. It can show us the key dramatic moment in Peter's life.
The trip to Yankee Stadium. The pitch.
Yes, but also the bus ride back to Syracuse that night, which is a huge mystery if you ask me.
The bus ride?
That 5 or 6 hours on that bus, it actually determined the course of his life.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Another paper interviewed the Yankees manager after the game.
Billy Martin.
Yeah. This is what Martin said. Quote, Peters has the stuff to pitch in the majors, but I told him he's got to go back to Syracuse and prove it to him. The Yankees will be watching him very closely. Peters got on that bus back to Syracuse, knowing that since he only threw one pitch for the Yankees, he was scheduled to start the game for Syracuse that afternoon. And he knew he had to impress Martin, but at some point before he boarded that bus, bought a bottle of rum at a liquor store.
So?
So I had to go through his mind that what he was about to do, waste himself on alcohol, could ruin his chances of getting back to the Yankees.
A couple of drinks after a game?
Not a couple. He got plastered, and then that afternoon he pitched like hell. It doesn't make any sense.
You can't possibly know how much he drank on that bus.
The day after the game, Peters wrote a letter to a guy who was a shortstop with him when he played semi-pro ball in Hartford. I called him up last week to get an interview. Well, he saved the letter. Listen to this. I drained the bottle on the bus ride back to Syracuse, and I was still so soused when I got onto the mound that I couldn't read the catcher's signs, so I just kept throwing fastballs. They weren't all that fast. Unfortunately, Vern didn't bother to say why he got so drunk on that bus, but a couple of days later, probably still drinking, he stumbles in a motel parking lot, dislocates his shoulder, and tears some ligaments. It was over for him. At the end of the season, the team released him. He went from the pitcher's mound at Yankee Stadium to out of baseball in 1 month. It's breathtakingly tragic. He got on that bus to Syracuse at the crossroads of his life.
You gotta be kidding.
Raj, life has a dramatic structure. And this is the critical moment in his story. He virtually threw away his career when he got on that bus. It's a profound mystery. Did you see him after the game? Raj, did you see Vern after the game?
Yeah, is this the press box? I'm looking for Roger Pennell. Yeah, that's right. Roger Pinnell. Is he still in the ballpark? Never mind.
Raj, after the game, did you run into him?
I saw Vern in the hallway outside the locker room, but he was on a payphone.
What was his state of mind?
I don't know. He was on the phone.
You didn't talk to him? Raj, did you talk to him?
No. I had to get back to the paper to write my story. I had an early deadline. He didn't even know I saw him.
Well, it's a moment we have to understand. Why would a guy who lived for baseball, whose only dream was baseball, throw it away at just that moment?
This is where I have a problem. You read a few letters, a few newspaper articles, and you think you can figure out everything about someone's life? Let me break the news to you. Vern always drank. He drank when he won, he drank when he lost. All through his career.
But Vern knew this was probably his last chance to get up.
Don't give this a meaning it didn't have.
Raj, just listen a second, okay?
Quit trying to be Sigmund Freud here. Just stick with the facts. He got drunk. Those are the facts. That's all anyone needs to know.
I'm figuring 15 chapters. First 5 could be about Vern's career, then the other 10 would be about his life after baseball, about all his struggles.
Kid, it's a baseball book, not a psychodrama. Guys who love sports hate that kind of soft stuff. A couple of chapters about his life after baseball, that's all. What else you got?
Roger, if we make this book about more than baseball, we can get people who aren't sports fans to read it.
No. We're going to call every ex-player we can find, and we'll fill out the book with their stories about life in the minor leagues. That'll be our focus. The minor leagues and Vern's rise up through the ranks.
Hello?
Hey, Mikey, it's Carla. You driving somewhere?
Yeah, and Roger's with me, so I can't really talk right now, so.
Got ya. But, what about that drink we were talking about tonight?
I'm headed back to Boston. What about Monday after work? We can meet then. But I gotta go. I'm running late, so.
Okay. Hey, Roger, I'm a sports writer too.
Oh, come on.
I take it that wasn't your wife?
No.
So who was it?
Someone from the paper, Carla. Part-timer.
Oh.
How was your week? Did you meet with,
Roger. Yeah, we met this morning. We made some progress.
what's he like?
It's kind of pathetic. I don't think he has any friends left. I don't know if he would leave his house if he didn't have to. What, am I supposed to pay these?
That was the agreement.
Can you cover him this month?
No, I covered it last month, Mike. It's your turn.
I don't think I have the money yet. Can you call your parents?
No, I've already borrowed from them 3 times this year. I'm not borrowing from them again.
Honestly, I don't have the money.
Remember, we're meeting with my brother for dinner tonight, 7 o'clock?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Might just stay here and watch SportsCenter or something. Go to bed early. Say hello to him, though.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, should have let me know you were coming in. Wow, old guard still remembers you, huh? Still lets you in?
Mhm.
Good for you, Raj. This is Carla, who I mentioned.
Ah, the famous Roger. Mike showed me that baseball book you wrote. That's awesome. I want to write a book someday.
Oh, about what?
Oh, God, anything.
So what are you here for?
Lunch. That's what you do when you're my age. Go to lunch with your buddies. Hey, Mort.
Hey, Raj.
What's
You
up?
ready? About ready?
Oh, hey, yeah.
What do you say about Antonio's?
Always Italian, huh, Mort? Hey, Steve, how are you?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Do you work for me?
Yes, sir. I'm part-time in sports.
Mike Resnick?
Mike, right.
Yeah.
Amigos, what do you say? Let's go.
Sounds good.
You the reporter looking for some more photos of Vernon Peters? Found 2 more in the basement storage.
Are they relatives?
Not all of them. That's Vern. That's Bernice. Most of them are probably neighbors, and most of them are probably dead by now. We're talking a half-century ago.
What about the women in the front row? They look pretty young. They might be alive. They might remember Vern.
Look, what did I tell you? Stick to interviewing ex-players. That's what we need. Clubhouse stories, road trip anecdotes, not Christmas party memories.
By the way, where's Vern buried?
Spring Grove Cemetery, about a mile from here.
Second chapter, Roger. Putting it in the yellow folder. The first one, I gave it to you last week. Did you read it yet?
Yeah, I read it.
And?
Blue folder.
We got a problem.
And what's that?
There's red ink all over this. You crossed out almost every sentence I wrote.
Write better, then.
This section, about the long bus rides and the miners, how the players would sleep in the overhead luggage racks. What's wrong with it? I thought it was pretty good. Just educate me.
Educate yourself. Read what I crossed out and figure it out. Hey, we agreed that I'm the editor for this project. Remember?
The problem is, every time I write a sentence now, I'll have to rewrite it 5 times before I come up with one that you might possibly approve.
Good! It'll make you a better writer. Help me rethread this ribbon.
What?
You got good eyes?
How's this?
A list of books you should buy. It's for background.
You honestly expect me to read all this? The financing of minor league baseball? Baseball and public policy? No, libraries won't even have this stuff. Buying it'll cost a fortune.
Oh, my heart bleeds. Tap your trust fund, why don't you? You got the money. I don't, Mr. Ivy League.
Yeah. Yeah, I have had a privileged life.
Through the 2 hooks.
Oh, did I also tell you I went to prep school? Andover. Yeah, Andover. Harvard. Hold this.
You got it made, my friend.
Yeah, Andover, Harvard. Extremely privileged life. Oh, did I also tell you I grew up in public housing, except when my mother was in drug rehab and I went into foster home? Did I mention that? I was on scholarship at Andover and Harvard. Section 8, food stamps, single mother, all that.
Michael, I'm really sorry. How did you go from that life to Harvard?
Well, when my mother was clean, she would always read to me from the encyclopedia, so I love books.
Around that little post thing.
And school was this place where they had food and heat and nice people. I didn't want to go home when the bell rang. Hung out in the library till someone kicked me out.
Through that last post. I gotta say, you don't look like a foster home kind of kid.
And what's a foster home kind of kid look like?
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Poverty leaves its marks. Well, they're just all on the inside. That's done. Jesus. How'd he die?
A heart attack on the job. When he wasn't drinking, he was an overnight janitor for a bank.
No headstone.
They didn't consult me. They cremated him and buried the ashes in a jar.
Did you go to the burial?
Uh-huh.
Make a speech?
No. A minister did all the talking.
Did he say he was a pitcher for the New York Yankees?
He said he was a floor waxer for the New Haven Savings Bank. You know, Vern's life, it had a good start, but then it went into the toilet. Yours is just the opposite. After a tough start, you've actually found your way in the world. I think that's great.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You know, when I was in high school, I had a map in my mind. A map of where I wanted to go in life.
A map?
You know, a mental map. If you grow up like I did, like poor as shit, you spend all day staring at the TV, at people with their normal lives, envying them. And this map forms. And on it are all the places the real people, the people with money go in life, all the shit they do. Those are the places I wanted to go, the things I wanted to do.
What kinds of places?
Well, Harvard was a pretty good step. But the real places. Like, you got married. Did you go to a bachelor party?
Yeah, some friends took me to a strip club.
Exactly. Mine was at a place called Cherries. The fat jokes, the cheesy gifts, the lap dance, drinks. I loved it. I was living real life. It was all on the map.
On the map?
Everybody's got a map. You don't have to be poor. First job, first baby, career, retirement. It's all familiar territory before you even get there. Like the first job, you learn to climb the corporate ladder. First baby. You marvel at its perfect little toes and fingers. Retirement. You get into naps and gardening. You go study elks and bison in Yellowstone.
And your point is?
I've gone completely off the map. I'm 33. My job is disappearing. My marriage is falling apart. I maxed out my credit cards. Soon I'm going to be so far off the map, GPS won't be able to find me. Hello?
Michael, what do you say about a quick road trip over to Sanford tomorrow morning to talk to a guy who played with Vern?
Who?
Eddie Romano. He was the catcher in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple weeks ago.
What'd he say?
Hold on. He said, quote, Vernon was a good guy, good roommate, hard worker on the diamond, says he was a fine player, a role model. Typical stuff.
Let me guess. You called the guy up, you broke the news to him that Vern died, and then you said something like, "Good sir, I'm working on a biography of Mr. Peters.
Could you be so kind as to tell me what kind of human being he was?
It's true he didn't know Vern had died, but
And you believed everything he told you.
well, why shouldn't I?
Eddie!
Roger!
Hey, my friend, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm fine. This is a friend of mine. A sports fan who wanted to meet you. Thinks because you played pro ball, you're some kind of hot shit. I tried to tell him otherwise. Look, Eddie, you probably heard Vern Peters. Now, Vern and me and a couple of friends used to go for beers occasionally, and the three of us who are still breathing might go down to New Haven tomorrow for lunch and tell some stories about him and have a few beers. Problem is, I don't have anything good about that season you guys were at Fort Lauderdale. You got any tall tales you can tell me?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Remember, I'm an old sports writer, so if you give me anything too good, who knows, it might wind up in print. What do you got?
Oh, geez. One time, we was on the road up at Daytona, and he wanted to see some girl up in Jacksonville. He ain't got no car. So hot wire some guy's Buick in the motel parking lot after midnight, goes to see the girl, and gets back at dawn before anyone notices him or the Buick guys.
Was Vern a hard worker?
Was he a hard worker? Yeah. Are you kidding? He was a pitcher.
Says it all.
Let me tell you though, Vern had the arm. Catcher would know, lots of velocity. He just wouldn't do the things a pitcher needed to do to get into the majors. You know, stay in shape, listen to the coaches, get in before curfew. He thought he didn't need to. It was a shame.
Hey, listen to this. The day of the pitch, Vern's family couldn't get to Yankee Stadium in time, so they recorded the game off the radio. I had it converted from tape. Listen.
Yankee manager Billy Martin is at the mound, and he's handed over the ball. Being told the pitcher is Peters, Vernon Peters. He was just called up from AAA this morning. Apparently, this will be his first pitch in the major leagues. So, big moment for this young man.
I didn't even know Vern was at the ballpark until a press guy from the Yankees told me.
Here you go, Raj. Guys.
Who's this relief pitcher warming up?
Well, they brought him from Syracuse this morning. It's in the press release. Peters. Vernon Peters.
Hey, can someone turn on the radio?
Oh, you know him?
I went to high school with him.
Yeah? What kind of guy is he?
You're asking the wrong person. He always said he wanted his obituary to be he was struck by lightning while pitching in Yankee Stadium. Too bad it's not raining. Vince, could you turn the radio up?
Seriously, Roger, what do you got against this guy?
5-4, one out, top of the seventh, runner on third. We're ready to go. Peters shakes off the catcher. Doesn't seem to like the sign. Shakes him off again. Now he's ready. He winds up the pitch. There's a line drive up the middle that's going to score a run. Gretzky takes a wide turn at first and he'll stop there with a single.
It's haunting. Especially when you think where his life was about to go. Vern's wife. What do you know about her?
His wife? To be honest, nothing. No one does. The marriage didn't even last a year.
You don't even know her name?
No. All I know is, let's see. They probably got married after his second season at Fort Lauderdale when she told him she was pregnant.
Some girl he met on the road?
Could be. probably split up before spring training started in March.
Well, that's it?
Look, it was a shotgun wedding. He only did it to protect his career, then he walked. You wouldn't expect him to tell his family or anyone else about it. And he didn't.
Well, I think I found out something about her. Maybe her name, but definitely where she lives. I called a pitcher for Syracuse Vern roomed with, a guy named Edmonds. Vern borrowed money from him a few times during his last season. It was for child support. Edmonds would write Vern checks that Vern endorsed to his ex-wife. Edmonds remembered her name, Paulette something, but he knows the checks were deposited into a Keene, New Hampshire bank.
There you go, Paulette. Paulette from Keene, New Hampshire.
It's a starting point.
You're wasting time. No focus on details like this.
What are details like this?
It's not baseball, damn it. You should be interviewing ex-players for stories instead of looking for dirt on Vern. It's exactly what I said you shouldn't do.
I'm looking for relevant biographical facts, for God's sakes. This was his wife, the mother of his son. Man, you have shit to eat in this house, you know that?
Hey, Raj.
Hey. We're upstairs shooting pool if you want to join us.
I can't. Got a little work. Maybe later.
What, are you a regular here?
Doesn't that hurt your thumbs? Who's it from?
Carla. I'm going to leave a little early to grab a coffee.
You mentioned some problem with your wife. What's it about?
Nothing.
Come on. We're going to be together for a lot of Fridays. We got to talk about something other than baseball.
All right. I'll tell you this, but I don't want your opinion or advice or anything. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I met Sandy, my wife, a few years after college. Our friends set us up. She was the one who got me interested in newspapers. In our group of friends, we were, the couple. I don't know, maybe it's become too much of a familiar thing now. We started having some problems after I got laid off from the Globe, and she didn't. And she got made morning daily news editor. And I'm in New Haven all week. And, this has been going on for 2 years.
Why don't you move back to Boston? Sounds like your wife's got the better job.
To do what? Work at 7-Eleven?
Sounds like a tough situation.
Yeah, it's very tough. We were once the right people for each other.
You're not anymore?
We are. There's something else. Carla, the intern, she's been sitting across from me for work for the past few months. You met her.
Attractive woman.
Totally. Well, last week she was covering a game in Norwalk where her car got towed. So she called me at 1 a.m. So I drive down.
Does she know you're married?
Yeah, Raj. She knows. So I drive down to help her get it out, but it's impounded until the next morning, and it's like raining like hell. So we decided to get a hotel room. Well, a couple hotel rooms, but Holiday Inn, and they only had one, so we split it.
Anything happen?
Come on.
Do I find out?
Absolutely not.
So?
Well, the whole night, it was thrilling. It made me think about my marriage, but whether I'd be happy or out of it.
This thing about your wife. You want a little advice?
I already said I didn't, so
I'm giving it to you anyway. Let's say you're sitting in the theater somewhere and they're showing old films. You got your drink, you got your popcorn, and the picture starts. The credits come up and the star is, let's say, Tyrone Power.
He played Robin Hood.
That was Errol Flynn. But that's okay. Let's say the star is Errol Flynn. Flynn and Vivian Lee.
Scarlett, Gone with the Wind.
Very good. Hell yeah. So, let's say it's a story about a guy, Flynn, with a basically good marriage and a sweet wife, Vivian. But he has some bad luck and has to take a job in another city for a while.
Oh, wow. Let me see where this is
Don't
going.
interpret things yet. Just imagine this particular movie on the screen. So, he's at this job, but he meets a woman who couldn't care less that he's married, and she starts coming on to him.
Carla doesn't...
They have some drinks. One thing leads to another. And soon, Flynn is thinking about leaving Vivian. So, you're sitting in that theater watching this. How do you think that movie is going to end if he does leave her? What's the arc of that plot going to be, my friend?
Life isn't the movies, Roger.
I thought you were the guy all about plots. All about dramatic structure.
Those things are a formality for writing, but you can't...
Have you ever read a novel or seen a movie where the husband leaves the good wife, marries the other woman, the homewrecker?
Carla isn't a...
Marries the homewrecker, and they live happily ever after? Come on, take a guess. Why hasn't anyone ever written anything with that plot?
Because it's a cultural thing, a cultural agreement. The public unconsciously demands that they don't live happily ever after, but in real life...
Bullshit! It's for a good reason.
Which is?
I know the mistakes I made when I was young. I know how my life turned out. And I know the mistakes all my friends made, and all these ball players and reporters I met along the way made. And I know how their lives turned out. I guarantee you there are stories going on out there. Stories like the movies. Ask anyone my age, Michael, will say the same thing. When they see kids like you make the ridiculous decisions you make, they cringe. Because they know exactly how it's going to turn out.
The problem is, it's all black and white, but to me, inside my situation, inside my marriage, it's a very gray area, okay? I don't know with any certainty what's a mistake or what isn't.
It's not gray to me, Michael.
Well, it is to me, and that's what matters. If it's a mistake, then okay, but it's my mistake. Roger! Christ! I said I don't want to talk about it anymore. Roger, look. I contacted the publisher at Legend Press. I told him why I think this book really isn't about sports. Vern's baseball career isn't what's interesting. It's what happened after it vanished that is. He agrees with me. He thinks women might buy this book if we take it in that direction. I didn't mean to go over your head, Roger.
Oh, shit! Of course you did!
Well, I had to. You wouldn't take it seriously otherwise.
Do anything you want. I don't give a damn. My name's not on this book, kid. Yours is.
What's this? A bill for personal long distance calls. The business office downstairs, traced to you. They expect you to pay it.
Are you kidding me? This is $400.
I can't help you on this, Mike. You knew the rules.
Why didn't you just use your cell phone instead of the company phone?
Because I'm stupid. I don't get free long distance. I didn't know they'd trace the calls to me. I used other people's desks to make the phone calls. A couple calls to an ex-player in the Dominican Republic was $72.
Why didn't you just ask me? I get free long distance, even international.
Like I said, I'm stupid. Well, what about your parents?
No. I'm not going to ask them again for something like this.
Well, what about your brother? I can pay him back.
For God's sake, ask Roger. Wasn't the long distance calls for your book? Ask him to pay for it.
I can't ask Roger. He doesn't have that kind of money. We don't have that kind of relationship.
What kind of relationship does it take? Just ask him. Maybe he's got a brother that you can hit up.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Mike, just find a way to pay for it. Mike?
Who do I make it out to, you or the newspaper?
Me. I promise you I'll pay you back.
You better, dude. I ain't rich. What time is it?
Just 6:30. Go back to sleep. Roger.
What?
You're typing. It drives me crazy. You start, you stop. You're like a machine gun. Did you edit those pages?
Blue folder.
Every Friday I come here just so you can cut my writing to shreds.
When I edit, the writing gets better. But if you don't like coming here, then don't come.
We should have been done 2 months ago. I should be reading galleys and planning book signings by now.
Don't blame me.
You've quit on this project. You should be giving me names of people who knew Vern after baseball. You've given me absolutely nothing.
I signed on to be your editor, not your research assistant. When you give me pages, I edit.
It's impossible that when Vern moved back to New Haven, you two didn't hang out together once in a while. That he didn't tell you about things going on in his
I
life.
didn't hang out with Vern, okay? I never ran into him. That's how alcoholics are. They turn inward.
Who? You or him?
How do you spell lacrosse?
La cross with an E on the end.
2 S's? No, it doesn't look right. Mike, are you going to talk to your wife? Mike?
I heard you. Just keep playing it by ear for now.
That's what we've been doing for months. You need to talk to her. Michael?
Soon. This photo of the Christmas party I showed you? It was around the time that Vern got married. There's a woman in this picture. A Pauline Bennett. Remember I told you Vern had a wife?
From, like, Keene, New Hampshire or somewhere?
Yeah. Keene, New Hampshire. It was a Paulette, but maybe it's a Pauline Bennett. Maybe this is his wife. Hey, Google, could you give me a Pauline Bennett in Keene, New Hampshire? Holy shit.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Pauline Bennett.
That's me.
Hi. My name is Michael Resnick. I'm a reporter. I was wondering, by any chance, were you married to Vernon Peters?
Yes,
I don't know if you heard, but... Well, he died in March.
I heard. So what do you want to know?
I'm working on a piece on Vern's baseball career.
And?
Can I ask how you met him?
My husband knew him. My first husband.
Uh-huh.
He introduced us.
Was that when Vern was with Fort Lauderdale?
No. I knew Vern when he was in New Haven. My husband was a sports writer there, worked for the newspaper. He introduced me. They were friends from high school. Well, I'm having reservations about my name being used in this regard. In fact, I don't want my name being used at all. I don't want my name being used for anything.
Roger! Come on, we gotta talk. Pauline Bennett. Pauline, from Keene, New Hampshire. Your ex-wife, Roger. When the hell were you gonna tell me about this, huh? What?
Look, who Vern's wife's first husband was, it's none of your damn business.
It's none of my business. What do you think we're doing here? We're writing a biography, for God's sake. Damn it, Roger, I'll keep calling Pauline to get the story from her if I have to. I'll call her relatives. Your relatives. There are people in New Haven who know what happened, and I'll find them, Roger, I promise you.
All right, calm down. But if I tell you this, it doesn't go in the book. I'm not telling you otherwise.
Well, I found Pauline on my own.
If you want to hear this story, it's off the record. Everything I tell you.
Yeah, all right.
I met Pauline a year after I started at the Record, and we got married 6 months later. Much too fast. We should have known each other better. We had our problems right from the start. I was always on the road, and she didn't like being left alone. We were close to breaking up, even before Vern got in the middle of things. What?
What, just a couple notes?
I told you I don't want this in the book. I'm not telling you otherwise. After Vern's first year at Fort Lauderdale, he came home that fall to work construction in the off-season. And he'd come over all the time. He'd conveniently show up just before dinner in his beat-up Plymouth convertible. And he'd flirt with Pauline, mercilessly, right in front of me, bragging and telling all his stupid baseball stories.
Hey, when the game starts, I walk from the dugout to the mound, and I feel like this is absolutely what I was born to do. Pitch. You know, in high school, right, Raj? In high school, I was the best pitcher New Haven's ever produced. Maybe even Connecticut's ever produced.
Wow, I wish I could see you play. What's your team next season?
Well, probably one more year down at Fort Lauderdale in Single A, but it'll be the Yankees in the big leagues after that.
You hope.
Well, 2 seasons at most. Good luck.
You got a girlfriend, Vernon?
I doubt Vern can limit himself to just one girl. It wouldn't be fair to all the others.
Several girlfriends, then.
What can I say? Women are attracted to athletes. It's a fact of life. You know, sometimes when we're on the road, I get girls knocking at my motel room door after games. What, you get that at the newspaper, Raj? Women knocking on the front door asking for you?
You overrate yourself, Vern. A lot of women don't like athletes. Too cocky, too vain.
Hey, be honest. You see 2 guys. One's an athlete, one sits at a desk all day. Who do you look at first?
Oh, God. Come on.
No, seriously, who attracts you?
Women are attracted to men for a lot of different reasons.
No, simple question. You see 2 guys. One's an athlete.
Christ, let it go.
Hey, no, you started it. You see 2 guys. One's an athlete. One sits at a desk typing all day.
Typing. Sports writing is just typing.
Hey, I'm not talking about you. I'm just picking 2 distinct individuals, and we're asking this young lady which one she would prefer.
Okay, how about this? A woman meets 2 guys. One's smart and responsible and has a steady job that can last 40 years. The other guy barely made it out of high school, but he can throw a little round ball really, really fast. His single talent in life. How about those 2 types?
Quit it, both of you.
How about it, Vern? How about those 2 types?
Learn to take Take a joke, my man. I'm kidding you. Hey, I'm envious. You got this great wife. And like you said, a job that'll last 40 years. Like, I'll be lucky to get 10 years out of baseball. Relax, partner. You got me beat.
Your entire life, there may be an hour's worth of moments, like a sports highlight reel you can't possibly forget. Here's one of them for me. One Friday morning in January that winter, I was supposed to go out of town to cover the Knicks, but I missed the flight. So I drove back to New Haven and went by my apartment.
Roger, you don't have to tell me that.
No, I want to paint the picture. Vern's Plymouth was parked out front,
Roger,
and I shut up and listened. So I park, and I go in.
Of course not.
Raj. Sorry, buddy.
Next day, I went back and cleaned out my stuff. But the rest of that winter, I would drive by the apartment late at night. And I would always see Vern's car parked out front. The divorce was quick. Vern played for Fort Lauderdale again that summer. I heard they got married around Christmas after she got pregnant. Then he was off to spring training. Then back to the Dominican Republic that winter after the season. She thought I was out of town too much. Wow! Within a year, that marriage was over too.
Roger, I have to say something about this in the book.
Just say Vern married a friend's ex-wife, but it didn't work out. Something like that.
That's the truth.
It's the truth.
How is it possible that you and Vern became friends later on?
40 years later, after he had a stroke, after he was broken in debt. I couldn't have built a jail cell for him more awful than that.
So the next time you saw him must have been when he walked onto the mound at Yankee Stadium and Yastrzemski hit that pitch.
Yeah, and I cheered like hell.
You know what? This explains something huge. Just listen a second, okay? Vern walks onto the mound at Yankee Stadium. He knows you're in the press box, the guy whose wife he stole. He begins to think about you watching him, and he blows the pitch. The bus ride, the all-night drinking, it was guilt. Guilt and remorse.
Ridiculous.
Major guilt.
He couldn't have cared less about me. Vern was as cocky as ever after that game. Said he was going to be called back up. Mr. Fastball.
And how do you know that?
He was bragging to me about how he went in to see Martin after the game. How Martin told him he had a great fastball and might bring him back up.
When was this?
When was what?
When did he tell you this?
I told you, after the game.
But you once told me that you didn't talk to him after the game, that you saw Vern outside the locker room on the payphone, but you had to get back to the paper.
I said, what?
That you had to get back to New Haven to file your story, that you never talked to him.
Well, we talked a few seconds. It was nothing.
You hadn't seen him in 5 years. He stole your wife, and you're telling me it was nothing? That's impossible.
Well, maybe a few things were said.
Like what? What was said?
I don't remember. It's been nearly 50 years.
No one could possibly forget what was said at a moment like that. No one. Tell me what happened outside that locker room.
Nothing.
You just told me Vern was bragging. cocky, certain he'd get called back up. But a couple of hours later, he was on that bus back to Syracuse, drinking his life into the toilet. What happened? Was there a fight? Did you and Vern slug it out? What? Damn it, Roger, quit lying about everything. Tell me what happened outside that locker room.
No.
Roger, you know I'm gonna find out about this too. I swear. Ah, shit.
Hello, this is Roger Pinnell. I'm not here to take your call, but leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Roger, pick up. I know you're there. Let's go, Roger. Pick up the phone. I came by and knocked a bunch of times. I saw lights on, so I know you were home. You can't avoid me permanently. Pick up the damn phone, Roger.
Roger? You know I'm gonna find out what happened outside that locker room. I swear to God. I'll call every damn person in the Yankees organization if I have to. I'll call Pauline again. I'll call Bernice. Someone knows, goddammit, and I'm gonna find out who. And if I do, and it doesn't come from you, I swear to God it'll go in the book. Your name and everything else.
All right. But it stays off the record. Every single word I tell you.
That depends on what it is. If you were the one who wrecked Vern's arm,
I didn't wreck his arm. Nothing like that. But it's off the record. Agreed?
Yeah, something happened after the game.
Yeah, is this the press box? I'm looking for Roger Pinnell. Yeah, that's right, Roger Pinnell. Is he still in the ballpark? Never mind. You down here to interview somebody? There's still some guys in the locker room.
I'm just here to get the game stats.
What's it been, 4 or 5 years? So, did you see it?
The pitch? I saw it.
Ah, you're the only one who did. Nobody in my family could make it up in time. My first batter in the bigs, and I draw Yastrzemski. Talk about bad luck. I was wondering if you were up there in the press box. When I was walking out to the mound, I was looking for you. I was just called up for the day, so got to catch a bus back to Syracuse in a few hours, but maybe we could, I don't know, go somewhere, have a drink, talk a little bit?
I gotta finish my story. I got a deadline.
Look, Raj, if I just say I'm sorry, that's probably not going to do it, is it?
No.
Look, when I was a kid, my mother would always say to me, Vernon, your brains are in your stomach. Well, at 21 with women, you know, they weren't in my stomach. Oh, God, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. Look, our marriage didn't last long, if that helps.
It doesn't.
You want to say anything to me? I deserve it, whatever it is.
What would be the point?
True. You ever see Pauline?
No, I heard she moved to New Hampshire.
I got a son, you know. She won't let me see him. Probably better for him in the long run.
How's things with Syracuse?
All right. Not really. Every job gets to be a drag, even baseball. I mean, think about this, Raj. I've been in the minors, what's this, my 6th season? It struck me. The day you're born, anything can happen. Anything. And when you die, it's all over. There's nothing left. But somewhere in the middle, there's a fraction of a second where the life you've lived and the rest of your life, they're exactly equal. You know what that moment is? You started to die and you don't even know it. It's the same in baseball. God, a week ago, I didn't know what to expect, what was going to happen. I'd been wild all season. I was starting to think that maybe things had already started to die for me. You know, maybe that moment came and went on a bus to Rochester a couple of years ago on the interstate at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to sleep.
There's life after baseball.
No, there isn't. Not for me. But this break I got today, getting brought up, even though it didn't go well, it made me want to play baseball again. Yeah, woke up my ambition. You know, after the game was over, I went in and I talked to Martin.
Yeah?
Yeah, he said they're going to call up a couple of guys from Syracuse after the season's over, maybe a pitcher or two. I mean, he knows I've been having control issues, but he told me, these were his exact words, "You've been blessed with a fastball." Yeah, and then he said this other thing. He said, "We've got a month before we got to make a decision, so show me something." He challenged me. He directly challenged me. God, I haven't felt a fire about pitching in I don't even know how long. Blessed with a fastball. Well, you know what Yastrzemski hit? A curveball. I barely even got a curveball.
Why'd you throw
The catcher kept calling for it. Nobody told him what I throw. I shook him off twice, but he still called for it. I told Martin that. When I get another shot, and I swear, I'm going to make sure I do. I'm going to make sure they know exactly what I throw.
You don't want to get your hopes up about being brought back up?
Well, if I pitch well in the next month, I will be. There's no fastball in this organization better than mine. God, this is exactly what I needed. A kick in the pants. It's motivation.
Vern, you're kidding yourself.
What the hell do you know? God, sports writers, Christ. You just sit up in the press box and all of you think you're geniuses.
I ran into a front office guy. They have some character questions about you.
About me? Questions about what?
They heard some things about you and my wife. I told them.
Told them what?
I told them that you raped her.
That I what? Raped her? You've got to be kidding me. You used the word rape to the Yankees?
That's what I saw.
You didn't see anything like that. It's a lie. Pauline will tell them. Nobody raped anybody.
I saw what I saw.
You saw 2 people in bed. You didn't see any rape. Oh, God. The Yankees will talk to Pauline. They'll talk to me. I'll tell them exactly what happened.
You'll tell them what? You were just screwing your friend's wife?
Where's the police report if there was a rape, huh? Answer that. Well, why am I not in jail?
I told the Yankees I never called police because you had been a friend. I wanted to save you from jail.
This is how you even the score, Roger? Huh? That's what this is? Just evening the score?
In the press box, when I saw Vern standing on the mound that day, it just pissed me off like I can't believe. I told that Yankees press guy, well, I told him what I told him. I was furious.
There was no rape, though, right? You said when you walked in on your wife...
From what I saw, there could have been a rape. He could have gotten her drunk, forced her up those stairs, and raped her.
Roger, you said you heard her giggling.
I didn't say.
Well, when I was going up the stairs, I heard noises.
She said she was giggling, Roger, that jazz was on the record player, there were drinks on the floor, and she was giggling upstairs.
All right, there was no rape, okay? But I was angry as hell. So I said it. I shouldn't have, but I did. And once I said it, it was too late. I couldn't take it back. A few days later, I heard that a lawyer from the Yankees went to Vern about the rumor. Syracuse was on the road in Louisville, and this guy waited for Vern in his motel room until after midnight. Of course, Vern was out drinking, and of course he denied there was any rape. But when he tried to tell his side of the story, it still sounded bad. And by then, Pauline had moved to New Hampshire, and when the Yankees tried to contact her, she refused to talk to them. She hated Vern. She hated me. She hated the Yankees. So the team had no choice. They released him outright. The drinking was probably reason enough, though. When he came back to New Haven, he started drinking harder, and his family kicked him out. They were already pissed at him because of what he did to me. What they didn't know is what I did to him. Bernice still doesn't know. She thinks I'm the innocent one in this. Every few months I'd see him around town, drinking by himself in a bar, sleeping on a park bench. Can you imagine how that felt? Running into him? How I dreaded that? Knowing what I did to him?
Well, don't you think he deserved it? After what he did to you?
Deserve it? What exactly did Vern do to me? He stole my wife, who I was about to lose anyway. What did I steal from him? His entire life. Baseball! I swear, even 20 years later, if I went anywhere, a liquor store, a bank, I wouldn't go in until I looked in the window to make sure he wasn't there. He and I didn't talk for years. But then about 6 or 7 years ago, he had a stroke and couldn't drive anymore. I see him walking places all the time. And finally, I couldn't stand it anymore. So one morning, when I still had a car, I stopped and picked him up. Vernon? You need a ride? Where are you going?
Drugstore up on Church Street, corner of State.
How you doing?
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yankees look like they might be decent this year.
Aaron Judge, he could do some hitting.
Sanchez looks solid.
Yankee pitching, though, I don't know.
True.
Could be good, but could be awful. This drugstore up there on the right?
You want me to stick around? I give you a ride home.
That's okay, but I appreciate it. But I got a medical appointment on the same block right after this.
Vern, if you ever need a ride home, or a ride anywhere, just give me a call. I'm still in the book.
Thanks, Raj. I will. You know, the Yankees had one more quality pitcher besides Severino. They could be something.
Yeah. One more pitcher. After that, I'd pick him up all the time. I'd take him to medical appointments, to the supermarket. I even gave him money. But those conversations in the car, they were always about sports. Only sports.
Raj, again, I have to say something about this in the book.
Just say the Yankees found out Vern was drinking when they sent him back to Syracuse, and they let him go. That's the truth. Just the way I said it. Don't show me any more of the manuscript. Finish it on your own. Yeah?
Is Roger Pennell there?
You got him.
The sports writer.
Yeah?
Me name is Seamus McLaughlin. I'm an Irish sports writer calling on behalf of the Baseball Writers Hall of Fame. I'm happy to inform you you've been nominated for induction into the hall. But we have to ask you a couple of questions.
Who is this?
A couple of questions to determine eligibility.
Who the
Mr.
hell
Pennell.
is this?
Have you ever knowingly used the cliche, going, going, gone? That is an automatic disqualification. It's Mike. I was calling to see if you're going to be home in half an hour. Want to come over and show you something.
What? The book?
I'll show you when I get there.
I'm just heading out the door to catch a bus. I'm going to scout a high school kid for a college baseball coach I know.
Where? I'll meet you there.
Saturday afternoons he hits at the batting cages on Evergreen.
Hey! How you doing, huh? Watch this kid. He can punish a baseball. What are you doing in town on a Saturday? I thought you went home weekends.
My wife and I, we split up. Both knew it was coming. Marriage just wasn't working for me. Absolutely know when it's over.
If you say so. What happened to Carla?
She, we got a place together down by the newspaper.
Ah. So what is it you wanted to show me?
Let's sit down. Something good.
A book? Huh?
Take a look at this first.
$22,000?
$22,500.
Are you kidding me?
I finished the manuscript at the end of March and sent it to a movie agent. He knew a producer was looking for a baseball store and he loved it. He optioned it for $100,000. That's your share after the agent.
Oh my God!
And the movie producer has already brought in a screenwriting team, and if they make the film, we get another $150,000.
Amazing!
And Legend Press has tripled the first printing based on the movie sale.
So let's see the book.
Something we need to talk about first.
Come on, give it here. What's this?
Editors wrote that, not me. That's what we need to talk about.
True story of baseball, best friends, and betrayal.
I realized the real story was about Vern and you, about the two of you.
My name wasn't supposed to be anywhere on it. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I know, but you never...
Book can't go out like this. You gotta rewrite it. You gotta take out my name.
Books are already printed and shipped. They'll be in stores next week.
I'll call Legend Press and tell them what you did. The book can't get published like this.
Legend Press knows and they won't do anything. They didn't even want me to show it to you before it was in stores.
You use things I told you in private.
Some things, but you never said that I could...
This section. Vern and my wife. Touching them in bed. It was all off the record.
Found your divorce filing, which is public record. Her adultery was all there in black and white.
How could you write this about me? A sad and broken figure? He lives alone in a working-class neighborhood near the New Haven Record. His disgrace and shame are his constant companions?
Raj, please. I painted you in a sympathetic light. Read the entire book.
You stabbed me in the back. I'll sue!
You can't. I had sources for everything I wrote.
This book...
Look at what you're holding in your hands. $22,500. 6 months from now, when more money is coming in, when you
can't show my face anywhere.
Stay inside for a few weeks until it blows over, but think of all the money you'll make.
You bastard! Just wait. Someday you're gonna realize. Not a single day goes by that you don't think about this. About what you did to me.
What I did to you. What I did for you. When's the last time you had that much money in your hands? I've seen your Social Security checks. I guarantee you, I won't regret this.
Trust me, you will.
Take care, Rod.